If you blinked, you may have missed the first month of 2026. But hey, at least we've made it to February, the month considered by the Romans as unlucky, so they shortened it to avoid having to deal with it too much. Kind of weird that this is also the month for couples, so hey, this might be your chance to grab that special someone, or friend for those of us who remain alone, and test your relationship through your ability to work together in video games. There are plenty of games that have multiplayer aspects to them, however I wanted to make a list showcasing games that are 2-player only. Generally, these 2-player games tend to revolve around puzzle and platforming genres, with asymmetry at the heart of most of these experiences, but I made sure to sprinkle in as much diversity as I could, so grab your significant other or friend and take a look to see if we can find your next co-op adventure. Up first, I really wanted to do an honorable mention to this list, and that is the Army of Two series. I loved these games back in the day, and the fact that they never got a re-release of any sort is a shame. Utilizing a groundbreaking system named Heat, it helped create a dynamic flow of battle where one player could catch the aggression of the enemy soldiers, which frees up their teammate to move more freely around the battlefield. Now, while it technically could be played solo with an AI companion, that AI companion was not fun to play with, and co-op was really the best way to fully enjoy all that the games had to offer. The only reason why this is just an honorable mention is that it was never ported to PCs, so you must have like an Xbox 360 or PS3 to be able to play the whole series. The first two are better than the last, but if you do get a chance to play them, you should definitely be giving them a shot. What if you're looking for a different action-adventure game that you can actually have access to thanks to Army of Two never being ported to PC? Well, then you may want to check out USAC Code Breach. This co-op experience is set in a cyberpunk universe where you and your partner are part of a special police unit. Tasked with investigating the unexpected shutdown of a high-tech facility, you end up needing to survive a situation that is beyond yourselves. One person will take on the role of the operator that can focus on hacking and the technical side of things, whereas the other role is that of the infiltrator who has a higher range of mobility options and can scout out items for their partner to hack. It's really nice to see the style difference between two characters, as most games will usually use that whole gun guy and everything else guy kind of combo. The experience on offer for USAC Breach Code is touted as a bit of a hidden gem, with a Steam score sitting at 92%, so check it out if it looks like something that you might enjoy. Okay, so I know this whole theme is co-op only games, and this is technically skirting that line with this next entry, but I couldn't exclude one of the staples of co-op experiences. Portal 2 has two separate campaigns to it, and while the single player one is fantastic, the secondary campaign is something that just simply cannot be passed on. The normal Portal puzzle shenanigans are present, but this time you must trust your partner to not put you into an infinite loop, or remove the light bridge that you're walking on, or just cause your death in general. The puzzles put forth are top tier, and when you are finally able to trust each other again and solve them, there is just this awesome feeling of accomplishment that is essential to puzzle-based experiences. There's really not a ton to say about this game, except if you haven't experienced the co-op part, you absolutely must give it a shot. Real quick, if you're enjoying the content I've been making, please consider liking and subbing to the channel. It would mean a ton to me as I look to continue to grow and push to help bring more gems to gamers everywhere. I also have a Discord channel that is linked below if that also interests you, but either way, I do appreciate the fact that you have given time to watch my videos, so let's just jump right back into the list. Trusting your partner fully is the only option in this next game on the list, and that is the game Bakura. This unique experience has you and your partner play as two boys who ran away from their homes, and work together to take yourself somewhere far, far away. What makes this experience so unique is that while you two are occupying the same screen, you are both seeing the world in vastly different ways. Teamwork and communication is paramount if you wish to get through the obstacles in your way. Now, personally, I've only ever experienced this game through clips that I've seen online, and I don't know why I haven't given it a shot, especially given that the game is only around $5, but that is something that will be rectified soon, and you should do the same if you haven't given this one a chance. If you're looking for a less cerebral 2D side-scrolling adventure, then you should be checking out Unravel 2. The sequel to the original single-player experience, Unravel 2 has you working with a friend as two yarnies that are tethered to one another. Just like the first game, you're given a certain length of yarn that forms your body to work around solving puzzles. I always thought the art for these games was super gorgeous, and seeing a yarnie get to the end of their yarn and be in an almost wither state was such a neat touch to give life to these characters. Now, yes, technically this game could be played solo, but I'm kind of ignoring that to put this on this list because it really does play better with two players. The journey is a heartwarming experience, and the fact that this game regularly goes on sale for $5 and is currently on sale for $2 gives you no good reason to not be picking this up for your next co-op adventure. Now we're getting to the point where Hazelight Studios is going to dominate for a few entries, and that's just because they've really nailed the genre of co-op games. The first game they released was the co-op prison escaping experience, A Way Out. Taking control of either Leo or Vincent, you are both convicted prisoners who are looking to break out of prison and stay on the run from the authorities. The experience that unfolds is unique in that one player can be engaged with a cutscene while the other is actively playing the game. And as you progress, the story of both protagonists unfolds, and the climax of the game is an unforgettable experience. I will say that while the story of A Way Out is solid, I do personally prefer the asymmetry of the future games from Hazelight Studio, but that doesn't mean you should be skipping out on this experience, especially since it often goes on deep discounts. Now, I know I'm going to say that many of the games on this list are must-plays, but this next entry is the only one to gain the status of Game of the Year. It Takes Two wasn't the first asymmetric co-op game to exist, but it has become the new standard since its release in 2021. This game follows a married couple who are planning on getting a divorce. After they tell their daughter, the little tyke goes off and commits like voodoo magic or something and traps their souls into dolls, and now they must work together to find a way to get turned back into humans, probably before their child dies of neglect. Although maybe we really don't want to have a child who possesses magic that strong around in the world. Now, all joking aside, every level you go through sees each player given a tool of some sort that needs to be used in tandem with the other player in order to solve puzzles, and as the two progress, they look to build back that relationship that was tearing their family apart. It's actually a pretty fantastic story with lots on offer, including a dark scene revolving around a stuffed elephant. Some point to a bit of a lackluster year as to why this game won the Game of the Year awards, but I genuinely think it deserves every bit of praise it receives. So if you haven't given it a shot, then maybe you should be adding this to your radar. The final entry from Hazelight Studio brings us to their latest release, Split Fiction. This game sees you taking control of the writers Zoe or Mio as you two find yourselves trapped in a stasis chamber that was unknowingly going to be used to steal your ideas so that a mega corporation can turn AI into a driver for future stories, thus pressing the foot down more than they already have on the little guys. A similar style of gameplay from It Takes Two unfolds, although this time you're traversing through one another's stories, with one focusing on the fantasy genre and the other one on science fiction. As you progress, you start to unwind motivations behind each character, and Hazelight Studio director Joseph Fares compared the narrative to that of a buddy movie as the two characters start off as strangers, yet through this experience create a bond that enables them to survive. One other aspect from both Split Fiction and It Takes Two that's worth mentioning is that through the buddy pass system, only one person actually needs to own the game in order for you to play it online, which helps really give that incentive to pick it up for you and your go-to partner. Another game that has a buddy pass system with an asymmetric co-op experience is the game Operation Tango. Instead of the split screen style from the previous games, Operation Tango sees you needing to rely heavily on communication with your partner. One of you is a field agent and the other one is the hacker, and together you must work in tandem to bring a high-tech global menace to its knees. There's even been free content updates that come with the game, and it currently sits at a 91% on Steam, so check it out if you want to get up to some spy shenanigans. Constant communication is also the key component of the next entry on this list, and that is the We Were Here series. This series sees you playing as expeditioners who have stumbled their way into the absolutely wrong area. Commonly separated into different areas, you must rely on your descriptive abilities of your partner in order to solve various puzzles. Every time I play these games with my friend, we have reached the end only to immediately boot it back up and see the other person's perspective because we enjoyed the game that much. The first game in the series is even free, and although the puzzles never change in that one, free is a great entry point into a series that I have been always looking forward to the next release from. There's even an upcoming 6th game in the franchise, although we don't really know much about that. Now, I will say that there was one puzzle in We Were Here, the friendship, that was pure chance if you could even solve it, which was really unfortunate, but most of the puzzles in the games are satisfying to solve, and the ramping of the story bits between each game is always enjoyable to experience. And again, with the first game being free, there really is no reason why you shouldn't grab someone to play this with. Up next we have the time-bending puzzler Tick-Tock, A Tale for Two. This game is an interesting method of co-op as you and your partner are just concurrently playing two sides of the same game, which sounds normal, but there is no online connection, so you don't have to worry about having great internet in order to experience it. You just pick a side, your partner picks the other side, and the only other thing you'll need is a way to communicate. That aside, this game uses time as a core mechanic for a lot of its puzzles, and some of the puzzles were extremely inventive. If you don't mind my poor audio quality and a few spoilers including the end, I do have a video on my channel from a long time ago that showcases some of the goofy moments between me and my friend. But if not, the game is only $6 and it's definitely worth giving a chance, just purely based on those unique puzzles revolving around time. They say that a dog is a man's best friend. Well then maybe you should partner up with your human best friend and look to tackle the entry that is the latest to release. Finch and Archie is an episodic co-op noir mystery where you play as the crime-fighting duo Detective Jack Finch and his police dog Archie. As Archie you can sniff up evidence and talk to local animals while Finch interrogates the human suspects. You must work together to capture the culprit in a gritty story set in the Great Depression. Releasing into early access back on January 16th of this year, the reviews seem to say there are a few things that might need to be tweaked, but still state that the overall experience is one worth checking out. So pick it up if it looks like it's up your alley. Up next we have a simple looking yet complex puzzle game where gravity goes up and down. E.R.F will truly stretch your brain in a similar way that Portal will, as working together through the weird way gravity works on you is essential if you're looking to succeed. Originally releasing on the PS3 back in 2008, this game holds up relatively well due to the simplistic nature of its art. There's an interesting interview done where the developer said that the naming of E.R.F without capital letters was a conscious decision based on the book The Well of the Lost Plots by Jasper Fjord. In that book, the characters with the same names are not given capital letters until they grow as characters, and that is what is at the heart of this experience as well. So make sure to check it out if you're looking to get wrapped up into a journey of growth. This next entry comes from my Discord member Firefly's Locket, and that is the game Blanc. This artistic cooperative adventure follows the journey of a wolf cub and a fawn stranded in a vast snowy wilderness. This snowy landscape keeps things without color in a unique experience, but it never feels as if you need color for anything to stick out. The soundtrack feels like a warm blanket around you during the calm times, but it picks up when you're facing the windy, chaotic sections. While the puzzles aren't necessarily difficult, there is the need to utilize one another to reach various locations, and it just has this cozy aesthetic encapsulating the whole experience. So check it out if you're willing to brave the winter together. Speaking of cozy aesthetics, up next we have a game that puts friendship at its core, and that is the game Pode. Yes, again, it's another title on this list that can technically be played solo, but it has so much more value if it's played with a friend. When I saw the trailer for this game, my heart almost burst at the tiny little feat that Glow and Builder have. Together, these characters have the ability to grow life within these barren chambers, with Builder being able to create new paths through crystal formations, weighing down buttons, and even carrying Glow to safely inside them. Whereas Glow awakens plants and is light enough to float across various terrains and gaps alongside illuminating the world to reveal hints or even lore from the world. Also, these two characters holding hands is just adorable, so make sure to check it out if you're looking for that cozy platforming puzzler fix. Having hand-holding as a mechanic seems a bit silly at first, but it does a lot to create that emotional connection with characters. While not a huge deal, the next game on this list uses it to convey the core theme of love, rebellion, and freedom. Haven sees you playing as two lovers that gave up everything and escaped to a lost planet to be together. Gliding through a mysterious landscape, you'll be exploring this fragmented world to fight against what is trying to tear you apart. The developer to this game is the team The Game Bakers, known for games like Fury and the recent hit Cairn, with self-reflection and emotional storytelling always at the forefront. This game is also another one that I cheated on here as, again, it could be played solo, but with the theming, I felt like I had to include it on this list. I have no idea how I hadn't heard about this game, but part of making these lists is also finding games that I need to put on my ever-growing backlog. So while I know I'm going to be adding this for sure, make sure to add it to your own if you think this might be for you. And that was the list of games that are pretty much co-op only to hopefully grab for your significant other or friend to adventure through. Were there any games that you think I missed, or did any of these stand out to you? Let me know in the comments below, but with that, that'll be it for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, be kind to one another. Shoutouts go to Relativity, Naughty Dog is King, Chaos, Kamikola alongside all those sub to the channel. I will try to keep making a theme list for each month, and if you want to help out with that, head on over to my Discord server. But either way, I will see you soon.